Hello, everybody. My name is Drake, and this is episode 34 of the podcast, How to Get Fit During the Holidays. Stay tuned. Hello, everybody. My name is Drake, or NoBSNutirition on YouTube, and right now I got my certifications. I got my nutrition coaching and personal training certificates. So, the reason why I talk about it right now is because, I understand what's being overweight is like in life. Right here are some pictures right now. Over here, this is me when I was little. I've been overweight my whole life. I'm currently 17, so throughout my life, longer than I've been fit, actually, only 4 years, I've been overweight. My height was 255 at 13 years old. So I do understand where people are coming from trying to lose body fat and gain more muscle mass. Over here, also, I struggle on an eating disorder. I was 144 in this picture. But at the time, I'm learning how to become better at myself and actually learning from others like MindPump or Starting Strength, how to eat properly and train for performance and not for looks. Over time, I got the looks that I wanted. So for people who are interested in personal training or, in general for any information like that, hit me in the description below. But if you don't even want that type of information or you don't want my services, it doesn't matter. You can look at my YouTube channel and it shows free information how to lose body fat, build muscle, or just have a healthier relationship with food overall. And I share my experiences with health, binge eating, and also other factors as well of just losing body fat and becoming overweight. So I just want to I want people to keep that in mind for future references. So just remember in the description below if you're interested in personal training or nutrition coaching. Now let's get into the video. So this is pretty much ways to get fit during the holidays. We're going to talk about pretty much 4 ways to get fit and an L extra on top of that. And we're going to discuss some psychology and how would you implement this during your holidays of Thanksgiving, Christmas, even Halloween. So let's just get into it right now. So focus on sleep and stress. This is a big component of everyday life. A lot of people have a lot of stress and sleep issues because of job, or they have stress of physical, even mental stress. Yes, stress can also be a physical thing. Even though you might not lift weights, you're stressed out because of the mental things, and that can have a relationship of physical. So you have to keep in mind it's not just of that too. It could be multiple stress factors as well happening in your life. You could just recently got divorced. You could be fired at your job. Many things of that sort of stress, and sleep is very important. Well, Drake, I have bad sleep because I'm a nurse, or I am a firefighter, I'm a first responder. I have bad sleep because of technology. Multiple reasons that we can understand how to fix that throughout our planning, and how we could educate each other of what to do, not what to do. So I can give some key list examples, but really what's going to help you with your sleep is going to trying to take that as priority, that's really the key term, and have a plan. So let's get into it. How many hours I should sleep? So when I say a typical client should try to aim for 9 hours, they shouldn't try to get 9 hours sleep. If you get 9 hours sleep, that'll be amazing, great, fantastic. But the reason why I say 9 hours, because you have to keep in mind during that time, you're not always going to fall asleep. It's going to take an hour to fall asleep, or even an hour, 30 minutes to fall asleep, or 30 minutes, right? Also, you got to consider the time, how many times you wake up throughout the day, or throughout the night. I know for me, I wake up at least one time throughout the night to take a bathroom break. No problem, because instead of sleeping 8 hours, so 8 p.m., I sleep at 7 p.m. So I can get extra hour of wake up in the middle of the night and go back to sleep if it takes me 30 minutes. So I get that total amount of sleep because it blurs the time compare of me using the restroom and sleeping at 8 hours instead of 9. So it saves more time, so you can actually have time to fall asleep, especially if you have like ruthless sleep, so you have restless sleep, or you wake up in the middle of the night. It really will help you throughout that time. So we're going to try and get 9 hours of sleep. But if we can't, we'll at least aim for 8 hours of sleep. There's a lot of misconceptions out there thinking people thinking they get like 8 hours, a lot of sleep, but typically their body is adapted and they're running on caffeine and cortisol, so they don't really know how it feels to get actually 6-7 hours of sleep without those chemicals stimulating them and actually, making them feel good so they can produce work and stuff. So yeah. Stress, you kind of have to be honest with yourself. Stress is a big component of this factor, especially older people. In general, typically people who are above 30, stress is going to have a big effect. Me at 17, I can have all the stress in the world and I will see progress just because my thyroid is fast, I'm young, and my testosterone, right? But now a lot of people are 17, so you have to keep this considered from the most majority. Well, I would say for people who have a lot of stress, like kids, work life, stuff like that, you have to maybe go to therapy, possibly figure out a plan how you can manage stress. There's multiple ways to do this. It's not just one, and me just listing every single possible thing is not going to work in your situation. What I would say is talk to somebody. How are you going to manage with your stress? What is your stress? I can give you an example. I can give you a reason. I think a miscommunication. Stress is not a physical thing. It can also be a mental thing, and it can also be a physical. So it's like black and white. It's yin and yang, pretty much. So if you have a lot of mental stress, and to you it's perfectly normal that you're divorced and you're just going through the flow, that's still a lot of stress because you still have to fill the paperwork, all that stuff. It's still a lot of stress, and your body can feel it. So yeah, keep that in mind. So focus on sleep, focus on stress, trying to figure out a plan, and always make priority number 1 sleep. So, my back. Number 2, eat a high protein diet with whole foods. Why do we want to eat a high protein diet? Well, high protein diet will cause 3 things. Being more satisfied, so you have likely to eat processed foods, so cupcakes, stuff, and wrappers. Also, a high protein diet will actually speed up your metabolism and therefore build muscle mass. If you build muscle mass, you lose body fat overall because muscle mass increase and your body fat will go down. And number 3 is you're going to eat in a calorie deficit typically, or eat below maintenance, so you lose that body fat. So all this is going to happen is pretty much losing that body fat, building muscle over time, and speeding up that metabolism. Because right now, before in ancient times, or even in the 1900s, you don't want a fast metabolism because food wasn't so vast compared to now, right? So now, since food is so vast and we don't have a starving problem, we actually have an obesity problem. You want a faster metabolism so you can combat that. You don't want to gain a lot of weight on 2,000 calories. You want to make it very hard to gain a lot of weight or body fat if you're not trying to do so at 3,000 calories. And anyone can do it. There's multiple ways how to do it, but it depends if you build more muscle mass. We're not trying to do a lot of cardio and burn because that's catabolic, and we're not going to build muscle mass to actually sustain long-term health and fitness. So what I would suggest of eating a high protein diet is meats, ground turkey, red meat, stuff like that, eggs, stuff like that has high protein, but make sure you track it, because a lot of people say they eat a lot of protein, but it's like a few scrambled eggs, 2 to 3 eggs, and that's 18 grams of protein for breakfast, plus some orange juice. That's not really high protein. What I'm talking about high protein is 1 gram per pound of body weight, or if you're extremely obese, trying to aim less than that, so 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. The reason why, because extra protein is kind of hard to eat, and also it's pretty expensive. So if you're a very obese individual, like 300 pounds, just eat less, and you'll get more benefits of just doing that consistently. And also, you can also measure lean body mass if you could. It's kind of hard to tell, but you could do that by like a DEXA scan or like a water weigh-in. But just eat 0.8 grams or 1 gram for the most individuals who's 200, 250 pounds. So if I get an individual who's 150 pounds, they will eat 150 grams of protein because math's sake. And also it's just simple. So I already know people is not going to eat 150 grams of protein because they're not used to it and it's very filling. So you probably hit 130, which is good. So just keep that in mind. You could eat more protein. Protein's not bad for you. It would actually help you overall. With whole foods diet, it's going to correlate typically with high protein, just because it's very hard to eat high protein diet with processed foods unless you're drinking protein shakes and protein bars. Other than that, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to eat whole foods and have a better relationship with food so we can have fat loss for long term. Because I don't want to see a client who lose a lot of weight, let's say 50, 60 pounds, and they gain all back in 3 months. It's ridiculous. It took you that long to lose it, and you should keep it. You know, you deserve that. And I will highly suggest to focus on having a better relationship with foods and trying to eat more whole foods. What would that look like? For me, when I was starting off, it was protein shakes and protein bars, but overall, I learned how not to do that, and it was very expensive. I could have saved a lot of moolah, but unfortunately I spent all that money, so wah. But anyways, how would that look is, you know, eating a salad with a lot of meats in it, fry some chicken thighs in the air fryer, have some potatoes on the side, stuff like that that doesn't come from a package, typically processed food. So you know what I'm talking about. Just figure it out. Figure that out on your own. It's pretty self-explanatory. What I would suggest, MindPump talks about more detail if you want to know more information. So check them out. Description below. Not sponsored. Just love them and they changed my life. So yeah. Now, strength training properly. This is number 3. Strength training properly is not training with weights, but cardio addition. We're not trying to do HIIT cardio. We're not trying to burn. Hey, Drake, I want to burn calories to lose body fat. Now you telling me not to burn calories to lose body fat? Yes. Let me explain. The reason why you don't want to burn so many calories to lose body fat, because A, that's not sustainable, and B, that pares down muscle. If you pare down muscle, you're telling the body to be catabolic, which is therefore you will lose muscle mass. If you lose muscle mass over time, this is the scary part, your body fat increases. So you might lose 30 pounds on the scale, but if everything was of a high stress intolerance, of very high stress, damper your sleep possibly, that will pare down muscle and your body fat percentage will go up. I don't care if a client loses 30 pounds. What is that 30 pounds? That's what I care. If that 30 pounds is mostly muscle, let's say 20 pounds and 10 pounds of fat, I could make an argument you would be better just keeping that 30 pounds because you lost all that muscle mass, you know? And there's no really right way to do this for most individuals. They will lose all that muscle mass if they do a lot of cardio. So how would I keep the most muscle mass, lose the most body fat percentage, and actually have a long-term relationship with fitness? Is to build muscle. How would I do that? Strength train. How would I strength train? What is strength training? What does it look like? Strength training is probably the 4 compound list: bench, squat, deadlift, and overhead press. Why would I do those things, Drake? Because they focus on 2 muscle groups on the body. It's quick and efficient, so you go in and out in the gym and you will get very strong in those movements, since it takes a lot of nerves to produce a force to get strong over time, if that makes sense. But my point is just trying to get strong over time and to build that muscle mass. What I would suggest is watch Starting Strength. They talk about the 4 compound list or even the 3 compound list. You can learn. So just keep that in mind. MindPump also talks about this and why it's so super beneficial, especially starting off. So go look at them. They are really explanatory about those things. And also they actually have programs out there about the compound lists that you can learn, you can use, and actually get strong over time to build up that metabolism to lose that body fat, especially stubborn body fat. Now, number 4, avert your thinking and be open-minded. A lot of people in the fitness industry, which I blame, do all these crazy things to get attention to actually sell their product. You know, I might not have 6-pack abs, and I might be fat to most individuals out there, right? And I might be very weak, but at the same time, I do understand the science base and the psychology base. Even though I'm a young age, I do understand because, well, I went through the process of buying all the protein bars, thinking that's going to help me. Oh, thinking carbs are bad for me. Thinking, oh, I gained 5 pounds in one day. one day I'm obese again, you know? And that really caused mental problems of having an ED and also having any other disorders. So I just want to help people not to do that. So you really need to have an open mind of doing these things instead of taking knowledge from random people on the internet. Even me, even if I have those certifications, I want everybody to research their things. If you become a researcher, you become very knowledgeable. If you become really knowledgeable, you know what not to trust and trust. So just keep that in mind. I'm not telling you not to trust me, I'm just telling you to actually do the research so you can educate yourself. So, yeah. Now, extra things for the holidays, because this is a holiday topic I'm talking about. So it's just spend time with your family, but just don't eat like an asshole. It's pretty self-explanatory. Spend time with your family, but just don't eat like an asshole. Just go in there, have fun. Food. It shouldn't be about food on the holidays. It should be about spending time with your families, enjoying the company. You know, holidays are meant with company, met with good times and stuff like that, right? So you should spend time with your family to do that. You shouldn't care about, oh, I had to eat this, oh, the macronutrients are not good on this, oh, I had to bring my skill. Don't worry about that and just spend time with your family. So that's what I would do in that situation. But at the same time, don't eat like an asshole thinking that, oh, everything is free range because I'm not tracking. Keep that in mind. So eat appropriately. If you feel like you have a trigger food nearby, don't eat that food because you know you're going to overeat on that food. So it's just called accountability. And oh yeah, I got that quote from MindPumpAdam. So yeah, MindPumpAdam. So I'm telling you guys, this was a quick video, but honestly, just watch Mind Pump over and over. My videos are very educational, and I form Mind Pump. I show my transformation to 144 to 200 pounds. You know, not all muscle, but, you know, I did my ways of getting out of an ED. So just keep that in mind. If you guys are interested on training or stuff like that, and interested how I lost the body fat, and how I gained the muscle throughout my childhood of obesity, keep in mind, and having an ED, then just tag me in the email below. You know, we can have a discussion. Even if you don't want to, you know, training program or stuff, ask me questions. I'm willing to help. Any concerns about this or that, what I said, I can clarify. So yeah, go right ahead. That's really it for today's video. If this video was very interesting and very informational, please share this with a friend who's trying to lose body fat or something like that. So just keep that in mind, and leave a comment if you have any questions or you just want to show your support. Thank you. Goodbye.